and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video in Won't Bluff, day 8 of the 2018 Carolina Panthers training camp. Actually, is this technically day 9? Do we count FanFest as a training camp? I guess that was in Charlotte. So, you know what? Day 8 of the Carolina Panthers training camp. This is probably the most important training camp day to date. I know it's like every day gets more important because every day is closer to the preseason, which means every day is closer to the actual season, which means every day is closer to that 53-man roster. And there's some guys on our team who are really fighting for a roster spot. Lorenzo Doss is probably the biggest name. We have a few linebackers really trying to make the spots. We have a lot of good competition out here right now on the team, but today was the most important for a couple reasons. Now, I think everyone watching this video by this point knows about the statements from Kelvin Benjamin. If you haven't heard, you can see I did a video on it up here above my head. Definitely check that out because Kelvin Benjamin had a few things to say, and I mentioned that again in my other video today. I'm not sure if it's going to be before this one or after this one, where I talk about FanFest and the unofficial depth chart that came out today, which if you're watching that video either before or after this, just keep in mind the word unofficial means just that. Honestly, there's really no point in bringing it out, I guess, other than to get conversation going with the fan base and to let players on the team know, look, this is maybe where we're seeing where you are on the team, so maybe keep up the good work and keep working hard, or we need you to work a little bit harder if you want to see yourself on our team this year. Which brings me to my next point as to why this practice is the most important. Look, we're playing the Buffalo Bills on Thursday, and as you guys know, Kelvin Benjamin plays for the Bills now, and his what he said, you know, the players won't say too much. They won't let the media and the fan base know exactly how they feel, but I know for a fact, I know it has to make them feel some kind of way to hear Kelvin Benjamin say those kind of things about the team, about their quarterback. Now, I know it's all love, but it kind of gets you a little bit. Even when you're above it, you want to take the high road. When someone says something about you that you thought was your boy, that you thought everyone had love for, and it was mutual, you get a little, you feel a little type of way. So I'm sure they want to prove something. I'm sure they want to. I'm sure the ones really want to go out there and try their best. I think the team really does want that. But more importantly, is to see how our younger guys are playing. Today's camp was also important because it was the hottest day of camp so far. Some of the guys from cold weather areas, a lot of these guys are getting a little older. A lot of these guys, you know, when you're in the hot weather, if you guys played sports growing up or whatever, or still play sports now, you know when it's really hot, your mind starts to wander a little bit. You're being told something, like your mind gets a little bit hazy sometimes when you're dealing with that hot, and you're trying to work hard. And for some of these guys trying to make the squad, like players like Luke Kuechly and Greg Olsen, they're on the team already. They're locked in. But for some of these younger guys who may have come from cold weather areas, or just is not used to Carolina heat, where you know it gets kind of humid sometimes too with the heat, you may not keep that information, or you may lose focus a little bit. So seeing how these younger guys react to playing in this heat, because it ain't gonna get no colder. I mean, you playing in Carolina, those first few games, it's gonna be a little hot. So we understand how that works out. So it's also important to see just how well these guys can focus in the elements. I think that's a really big point to make about how young guys are affected by the heat, because we're in that kind of area. Now, there's some players who didn't practice today. Christian McCaffrey didn't play due to an illness. Deshaun Hall didn't play. Our punter, Mike Pilardi, his wife had a baby, so congrats to the Pilardi family, man. Big congrats to the addition to the family. He wasn't there. Our fullback / tight end, Alex Arma, which honestly, I like that we have a fullback / tight end. We need those big bodies. We can run a lot of full Panther. Anyway, he had a leg bruise. He didn't play. 2K Short had a vet day. Jeremiah Searles, Ian Thomas, Ben Jacobs also didn't play. So we saw a lot of newer faces out there trying to make some moves, trying to make some waves, get the attention of our coaches because, hey, they're playing for a contract. Going through some of the information that was reported out of camp today, which I just want to make an aside here. It's nothing really too big, but I noticed that none of the reporters posted videos on their Twitter pages today, And I can only imagine why that is. That only hurts the fan experience, I think. It's all good. We can make content without it. But I think fans and you guys alike really do like to see someone break down what they're seeing. And you can just casually look at what's happening on the field and say, okay, this is really cool. This is a cool little play here. That's a catch. That was a deflection. But I think it really does add and help the team out to see someone break down what they're seeing at camp. Not really a big deal. I don't really use their content for anything other than training camp. So once the season's back up, we won't even have to worry about that. It's all good. But moving on, it looks like the pass game was the real star of the camp today, with camp throwing some dotties out there. There was some from Taylor Heineke. We had Garrett Gilbert out there doing some work. But you guys know it's usually been the defense doing a lot of good work. Good stops on the goal line drills, move the ball drills not working so well. Our younger guys in the linebacker position and our guys at corner really doing some big things. But it looks like the pass game was really what was going on. Greg Olsen had a really good day. Jarius Wright proved that he's a sure-handed guy who can hold on to the ball and get into space. I think we all knew this about him. Like I said in my other video, I had a lot of Vikings fans tell me, you're going to really love Jarius Wright. He just wasn't really the best fit for us because we have so much talent on the squad. But you're going to really love what he brings to your team. He's a great player. I heard nothing but positivity from Vikings fans. We saw Lorenzo Doss, like I said in my other video. Lorenzo Doss continues to impress. Mario Addison made a good move on Matt Khalil, which doesn't really surprise me, but I still have my hopes high for Matt Khalil this year. I am not done with Matt Khalil. I think he'll have a good year this year, and that's really the optimist in me speaking right now. Maybe I'd like to see an optometrist, but the optimist in me really wants to see Matt Khalil do well, because you know what? I wouldn't mind not having to go out again next year and having to find another tackle. I would rather have someone who knows the team, knows our scheme, and can improve and do well on our team in Carolina. We saw Garrett Gilbert throw some really crazy throws. He had one to Damiere Byrd that got the crowd to really get excited. Luke and Jermaine Carter, who is another person who's really been impressive in these camps. That's the name you keep seeing being brought up. Jermaine Carter Jr. He might make the team this year. I think he'll probably make the team this year. That's not like a might type of thing. They both had some really big hits against the hit sled today in practice, and the crowd went wild for that. You know what? Next year, I really got to make it out to these practices. I'm 5 hours away, so I really can't make the 10-hour commitment to doing that. But hopefully I'm in Charlotte next year, and I really want to see the team next year and go out to all these practices, and especially FanFest. We're really seeing some really good improvement out of our guys, and even when our top dudes aren't practicing or not on the field, we're still seeing some pretty solid play on the field, no matter who's up there, which really gets me excited to see who steps up in this first preseason game against the Bills. A lot on the line there, a lot of things to see about in that game, and I'm really, really pumped to see just how we do, see our team in action, full speed. But what are your thoughts, ma'am? What are your thoughts on our team, how we're stepping up, who's going to be a big player for our team, who are sleepers, who are guys who are going to really impress? Who do you think might take a step back this year? Let me know in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.